Alrighty friends, I am currently a very clean girl. I just stepped out of the shower and I've got another My Life with ADHD for you guys today. So we've been talking about a lot of kind of loaded things that might be bringing up a lot of negativity, a lot of negative feelings, and while that isn't the intention, it is really good to be able to talk about those things, and it's just really uplifting. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's a little bit more positive, and that is reframing our ADHD traits into those positives, into selling points. Because I think a lot of us have trouble finding paying work because we're very harsh on ourselves, we're very quick to judge ourselves, and we're very quick to compare ourselves to other people. And when we do that, we often find ourselves lacking because we're comparing ourselves against what we see as a perfect image rather than knowing all their flaws and taking that into consideration. So recently, I've been trying to be increasingly more open about the fact that I'm an ADHD person, that I have ADHD, and I'm also trying to present it in a more positive light. So today I tweeted why my ADHD makes me a good hire, and this is specifically to artists. And I'm going to read through the whole tweet and then I'm going to walk you through step by step why I say those things and the justification for that, because some of them might seem counterintuitive if you have ADHD. So I am passionate, honest, a driven artist who values loyalty. I value loyalty, clear direction, and good leadership. I will give every project 100%. I have loads of energy. I'm great at encouraging others. I'm decent at teaching. I'm patient with others and flexible. I respond best to clear communication. Hyperfocus means 10-hour days or a preference for me, and I tend to fixate on a project until it is complete. Out-of-the-box, non-lateral thinking makes for creative solutions. I love to brainstorm, and I want to make the best project possible, so I'm very open to critique when solutions are presented. I'm very self-motivated, willing to do sales and pitches because I have loads of convention experience. I'm eager to try new things. I love new modes of thinking. I get along well with others because I'm an ambivert, and I would be honored to work in a group or studio situation. I'm already familiar with pipeline and task management software like Trello. I can bring my own audience. I'm good at engaging others, and I'm a good problem solver. I'm great at breaking down and scheduling tasks. I'm good at organizing files for pipeline work. I'm familiar with long-distance freelancing solutions. So that makes me sound like a pretty dang good hire, right? I would think so. I would hope so. Maybe somebody watching this would agree. So let me walk you guys through why I say those things, why I can say those things with 100% honesty, and why those things are tied in with my ADHD. So regarding the passion, the honesty, and being driven. So the passion and the being driven all kind of so they tell people with ADHD that if you're having trouble committing to a project, committing to a career, committing to a field of study, you should really just pick what you're passionate about. And I fell in love, head over heels in love with comics at 13. I was always in love with art. I was always in love with literature. In fact, I thought I was going to be a writer up until I was like 22. But comics just grabbed me really hard. So it's very easy for me to have put the time in studying drawing, studying construction, studying different ways of storytelling, reading loads of comics to become a professional comic artist. It's what I'm passionate about, so I'm a little bit obsessive about it, so I can speak about it passionately. I can devote the time to studying and improving, and that's just what I love to do. It's like asking me to breathe. I would do it anyway. So those really tie into what I love to do. And I've really kind of struggled with that over the years because comics is not a profession where you make money. I don't even mean lots of money. I mean like any money. Comics is not one of those kind of professions for most people who make comics. And kid-lit comics, even though you have breakout stars like Raina Telgemeier, is really an underappreciated field. There's not a lot of love. There's no support for it. It's really hard to get in there. So if I wasn't crazy passionate about these things, I would have had to have left. In fact, I've stuck with these things because I'm so passionate about it, because I can't imagine my life without doing those things. And even not getting paid to do those things, I'm still pursuing those things. So that is like number one, nail on the head. Pick the thing you are the most passionate about and pursue it. I mean, if it's a financial thing, because I do conventions, I do workshops, I do these other things that kind of add supplementary income. So I'm not like saying don't do the things that help you make money, but I am saying like always push that thing that you really truly love, the thing you think about all the time, the thing that when you think about 20 years down the line and you imagine a happy future, you start to cry because you want it so bad. So I can very honestly say that I am passionate and driven. Now, my ADHD makes me a terrible liar. I can't keep track of lies. So I just prefer to be honest whenever possible. I find it's easier just to lay my cards out on the table and deal with it. And if somebody's angry at me, just be honestly angry at me. Don't be passive aggressively angry at me for weeks. Like, let's just get it over with and get it hashed out, and I can fix it. I can improve upon it. So I value honesty, and I try to be honest with other people. I don't like masks. I don't like games. I don't like, well, I like games, but not mind games. I don't like deception. So I can honestly say that I am an honest employee. I value loyalty because I have been treated very shabbily in the past. I've been treated very like I'm disposable, like the things I do don't matter to anyone at all. So when I find an employer or someone who I work with who legitimately values what I have to bring to the table, I am super grateful, and I go to the moon and back for people like that. So if you put me in an environment where my work is respected and valued, I will give you everything I can, and I will fight for you tooth and nail. So I'm a very loyal hire, and I really respond well to loyalty, which is sadly increasingly hard to find these days in professional environments. I work really well with clear direction because I'm ADHD. If you want a specific thing, you need to tell me you want that specific thing, and I will give you that specific thing. I might also give you 3 other out-of-the-box iterations that you might like, but I will definitely give you that specific thing. If you're not clear with what you want from me, I will do my best to accommodate you and try to read your mind, and I will really try to read your mind. I will make lists of what I know you've liked in the past and how I can make this like that. But it's always much harder for me to work if I don't have clear direction. You might really like the result, but it takes a bigger toll on me. So if you want the best out of me as an employee, you have to give me clear direction. But I will give you what you want if you can do that. And I really appreciate good leadership. Laissez-faire leadership is okay in certain situations, and that's kind of like laid back, like you do you, baby girl. But if you want specific things from me, you need to tell me specifically. You also need to praise me when I do things correctly so that I can continue to do that in the future, because otherwise my mind will kind of override and be like, well, they never said anything about this. I guess they didn't like it. So clear praise is awesome. And if you don't like something, clear criticism is also good. Okay, I don't like this page because that panel's too big. Those, oh, hang on, I got a cat who wants me. Those word balloons are in a weird place. They're obscuring certain things. I'm not going to make you redo this page, or I will make you redo this page. That's fine too. But I want to see this improve in the future. That's clear direction, and I really thrive with clear direction. I am so, as you guys can see, I have loads of energy. That's the ADHD. That's the passion, and that's just part of my personality. Again, I don't like games, so some people will like try to hide their excitement or lie about it or like play it off like it doesn't matter to them. I can't do that. I'm just me. I'm just really passionate and energetic. So knowing that I need, knowing that I need lots of encouragement, I try to give other people lots of encouragement. I try to treat other people the way I want to be treated so we can have a better working environment. So I will give other people loads of praise and just try to be as kind and as helpful as possible, because that's what I need and that's what I thrive with. And who doesn't thrive from praise? I am patient with others, which I know sounds counterintuitive because I'm ADHD. I'm patient with others because I know I require patience to deal with sometimes, so I try to treat others with the same respect I want to be treated with. And I am flexible because I know I require flexibility, so I try to be flexible with other people. That doesn't always mean my first reaction is flexibility, but I've learned to keep my mouth shut and my complaints to myself until I'm at that point where I can be that. So I may need to step away. I may need to take 10 minutes. You may not hear from me for a little bit, like a very little bit, like 30 minutes tops. But I will try to come back with a good attitude, patience, and flexibility. I say I am decent at teaching because I think I'm really good at teaching one-on-one. kids respond really well to me, but I don't get a lot of feedback from adults and other teachers regarding how good a teacher I am. So other than I've student taught at one was in elementary school and one was in elementary to middle school. I TA'd a semester for undergrad, and I did actually get a lot of positive feedback on how I did with that. I volunteered at a middle school in their comics in the curriculum program, and then I've done loads and loads of workshops. So I have a lot of teaching experience, plus this YouTube channel, but I don't get a lot of feedback from other teachers on how I do, so I'm kind of figuring it out by myself, which makes it harder to grow, right? Because I benefit from, what? Direct feedback. And I respond best to clear communication. So if you have a problem with me, you need to tell me you have a problem with me. And because I can tell, like, you're not hiding it, I can tell. I'm pretty good at reading people, but I can't always tell why. And my brain will make up like 16 different reasons why someone has a problem with me. So it's really best if you just tell me what's going on. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me our goals for the future. Like, let's work together to make the best possible thing, because I'm very open to that. I really want to do that, and I need other people's help when we're working in a group situation. So hyperfocus means 10-hour days are a preference. I know you guys know that. Like, I can't turn it off. I'm sure some of you guys can't turn it off. We lay in bed thinking about these things. We can't go to sleep until we're completely exhausted. So that's not a selling point, and overwork is a huge problem in the comics industry, so I'm not trying to like push that, but that is a skill set. That is something that is unique to me and other people with ADHD, which I actually prefer working like that. And so if you're looking for someone who thrives in that environment and can accommodate my other needs, that's great. So I am good for like last minute, hey, we need flats on this by 5 a.m. Just get it to me before 9 o'clock the night before, because I quit checking my emails at 10 at night. Like a normal person does, because I try to go to sleep at a reasonable time. So that kind of quick turnaround stuff, I work really well with that. But you can't do that to me every single day in a week. So I used to work for a studio that I really loved working for them. I loved all the projects. I loved the people who worked there. They were great. They were communicative. Like, I have very few complaints. But my only complaint is that they figured out that I was very good at last minute turnaround stuff and that I kept weird hours. So they would give me projects super late at night to be completed super early the next morning, a week in a row. So I wasn't getting any sleep. So I am a night owl, but you can't completely turn me around. And speaking of a night owl, you're not going to get anything decent out of me in the mornings. I am a zombie until noon. So I know that's a big hang up for like traditional working environments, but if your studio functions best at night, I'm your girl, because I function best at night. Let's see. I tend to fixate on a project until it is complete. I've been recording an ADHD vlog every single day this week because I'm super excited about this idea, super fixated. I tend to get fixated on ideas and then pump until it's finished. So like, I'm working on 7-Inch Kara Chapter 8. My goal is to work on it every single day I can. So I'm fixated on working on that project. I will fixate on a project until it's finished, and there's not a whole lot I could do to turn that off. That's just part of how my brain works. So I know some people who are non-ADHD are watching this and they're like, wow, you're everything that's broken in the comics industry. And it's like, I'm sorry. Comics does attract a lot of ADHD people. That could be why some of these things are broken, because they work to our benefit, but they don't work to everybody else's benefit. So I don't want to encourage abuse of other people who don't function this way. I want to encourage a respect for different working styles and an understanding of how different people work. So, out of the box, non-lateral thinking, right? Okay, so those of you with ADHD, you guys know how this works. Your brain makes connections all over the place. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes they don't make, they take like 2 hours of explaining to explain why they work. But we're really good at coming up with non-lateral, out-of-the-box solutions to problems. Things other people don't try. We're willing to try things earlier than other people because we've hit so many roadblocks in the past that we're often eager for solutions. So obviously I'm doing an ADHD vlog that is for ADHD artists. That's kind of like a lateral thinking thing right there, and that's just one example. So makes for creative solutions. I'm always looking for new ways to teach people, to reach people, to draw things, to show things. I'm always trying to explore. Love playing with new media. I love to brainstorm. I love brainstorming with people who love brainstorming. I love brainstorming with people who are intelligent and quick-witted and funny. I love having that rapport with other people. One of my dreams would actually be to write for a kid show, because that sounds super fun, and that's like 100% the stuff I enjoy doing. I hate brainstorming with people who are not invested, don't care, are phoning it in, impossible to please, shoot down every idea you have, always have a reason to negate it, don't ever offer solutions. Like, don't ask me to work with people like that. I hate them. I want to make the best project possible. I want to succeed. I want to see you guys succeed. I'm going to change the camera so you can't see Joseph fixing his hair. I want to make the best project possible. I'm involved in this. Other people are involved in this. It behooves me for the project to succeed. It behooves the studio for the project to succeed. Could you close that door? I had it closed. ADHD. Yada da 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 da. So I am very open to critique and to when solutions are presented. It is very hard for me to take critique when everything is wrong and people don't know how to fix things, and it actually really annoys me. And it's different if they're like, okay, I don't like this, this, and this. Could you help me fix it? I'm open to that. But I really don't like people who are like, this didn't work and that doesn't work and I don't like the wording for this. And no, I don't have any solutions, so let's just not do it. And there seems to be like a disturbing number of those kind of people in the world, right? Especially when it comes to like group work. So if you're hearing this and you're like, hey, I'm attacked, that's me. Like, maybe don't be that person. Maybe just be like, hey, I've got some problems with this, but I've also got some solutions. Because when you shoot down everything, it stops things to a halt. You always have to offer a solution. You always have to offer an alternative, and that keeps things moving. And for people with ADHD, it's that momentum that is super helpful. If you kill things at a stop that we started, we're not going to have the momentum necessarily to get it started again, especially for group projects. So, as you guys can see, I'm very self-motivated. I do conventions. I co-started. I'm the one who claimed the Tumblr URL for how to be a con artist at tumblr.com. Started the blog, started this channel, started the artist interviews. I was a Sequel Lab PJ. I'm in several anthologies. I have a long-form watercolor kidlit comic that's going up as a webcomic. Like, I am extremely self-motivated. Self-motivation is not my problem, especially in a system where I get feedback, I get encouragement, I can brainstorm with other people. Self-motivation can be a problem for people with ADHD. Getting going in the morning, getting going in the day can be a problem for people with ADHD. And I have found many coping strategies that not only help me deal with my self-motivation, but help me excel, help me use this energy to do loads of great things. Let's see. So I am totally willing to do sales. It was never something I like dreamed of doing, but I was a Girl Scout. I sold Girl Scout cookies. I was good at doing the little songs and dances. People thought I was cute. People thought I was funny. And I kind of brought that into doing conventions. And being an ambivert and liking people and liking engaging people are all great things. I enjoy doing pitches. I like doing sales. I have lots of convention experience. I know this is not something every ADHD person can bring to the table, but these are my unique selling points and skills. I like kind of the hustle and bustle of shows and all the visual stimulation. It can be very overwhelming, but I do also feed from it. I am eager to try new things, and I love new modes of thinking. I'm always reading books about new ways of thinking. I'm always researching how people think. I like psychology. I like sociology. I'm always kind of passively consuming information about how the brain works and how we process information and how we put that information out there. So I am always open to trying new modes of thinking. I get along well with others. I'm an ambivert, especially if you are clear and you are direct with me. When you have a problem with me, you tell me you have a problem with me, and we can move on, or we can solve it, or we can just agree that we don't really get along and we'll still work together well because we have changed the relationship from trying to be friends to just being coworkers. And I would be honored. I would love to do group work in a studio or group setting, like in-person group work. I am a co-founder for Ink Drop Cafe, which is a webcomic collective. So I am already very familiar with getting groups organized and helping facilitate groups and keeping group. In fact, I'm the secretary, which I know, right? The girl with ADHD is the secretary, but I really like doing it. It's cut and dry, which makes it easy for me to do it, and it's digital organization, which also makes it easy so I'm very organized digitally, and I am as you guys can see, a hot mess in physical situations, but I don't bring my mess to work. I leave my mess at home. So let us see, what else have I got that makes me great? I am already familiar with pipeline and task management software like Trello, like, well, mostly Trello, but also Google Docs, Google Drive, OneDrive, anything that facilitates getting files from point A to point B. I can bring my own audience. I've been working on that for years on Tumblr, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, with the blog. So I've already built an audience and I can bring that to whatever project I'm working on because I have loads of enthusiasm and I love working with other people, and I would be so proud and so honored to work on like a co-op project that I would just be thrilled to talk about it. I am good at engaging others. At least I think so, but you know, that's that ADHD brain. Maybe I'm not so good at engaging others. Oh. And I'm a great problem solver because life has thrown so many problems in my way. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and she said that one of the things, I know, right? Always bring up your mom in a sales pitch. One of the things that makes me a good problem solver is I think about things like a puzzle. So it's not this insurmountable problem. There are no insurmountable problems. It's either a matter of time, a matter of effort, or the right combination of other factors. So I am always, my brain is always turning things over, chewing things over. I'm always making lists and trying to solve things. So I can come up with loads of solutions. I just need the help with more experience narrowing down what will work and what won't work. And let's see. Finally, I am great at breaking down and scheduling tasks. Because I am so ADHD, I have to be good at that in order to do the blog and have it update twice a week. And it's never missed an update for years. Or to update the YouTube channel and stay consistent with updates and even increase my update schedule. Or to not only create these watercolor comic pages, but then have them available online and have a consistent buffer. All of that requires time management skills. And I mean, I work nonstop, so I am often managing 5-minute increments of time, getting stuff in when I can. So I have really pretty good time management skills. I do need help with prioritizing things, which is why I think working in a group in-person setting would be helpful. If I'm taking freelance work, I always prioritize their work over mine, which is not always good for my long-term career stability, but it's always good for them. It's always good for the customer. Let's see. I am good at organizing files for pipeline work, such as like Photoshop files, because I've actually worked freelance for another studio where they had very specific guidelines for how they wanted their files organized, how they wanted their Photoshop documents organized, and I loved it. I loved it. I still use those methods on even my private work. Every object gets a folder, every layer gets a name. I'm really good about organizing those sort of files. So I am not the artist who's going to give you a disaster piece of 1,000 layers and you don't know what any of them are. I'm the person who actually will go through and fix that because I don't like not knowing what I'm dealing with. So I'll fix that even if someone else hands off. If I'm next in the pipeline and I get someone's disaster of a Photoshop, not that the art's the disaster, but like the layers are a hot disaster mess, I'll go through and I'll label everything so that I know and the people after me know, so we can do it quicker. So I am also very familiar with long distance freelancing solutions. I worked on a children's book with an illustrator long distance, and that was a very interesting and unique challenge because she wasn't very computer savvy, so we had to find new ways to get information to one another. In fact, there was a period where she was like, I can't open images on my smartphone, and I was like, you could be at a computer and doing this, not on your smartphone. But so I'm used to not only working with people who are very unfamiliar with internet solutions for long distance working, but people who are intimately familiar with long distance solutions for working remotely. So I would love to work in person. I would love to work long distance. And I feel like many of my ADHD traits have become assets that make me a better employee, a better artist, and a better hire. So I know that was a little long, but hopefully I inspired you guys to think about how you can reframe some of your ADHD traits to be huge selling points, huge things that people will actually like. I mean, maybe you're funny, maybe you're quirky, so that might make you really good for like writing for children's stuff. Maybe you have a great sense of color, maybe you really love patterns and you're really good at organizing things. All of those sort of traits can make you more desirable as a hire. And I know there's always the question of when are you willing and ready, and should you ever reveal that you're ADHD, because we are protected by ADA, but that usually, I mean, how do you prove they didn't hire you because you're ADHD, right? However, I'm in like this really unique situation because I'm self-employed for the most part, and I work in a field where a lot of people are ADHD or undiagnosed ADHD or have family members who are ADHD. So there's a lot of compassion for that in the comics, in the indie comics field. So I'm in a unique position where I can talk very frankly about this, and I'm not super concerned about not getting hired based on something like being ADHD. It's a very trivial thing when you've got companies that hire literal, actual, outed racists and sexists, you know, kind of like a small patates compared. So hopefully this has inspired you guys to reframe some of your thinking, start embracing the good things that come from being ADHD, because there are good things, and I'm so tired of people trying to frame it like there aren't any. Both people who are depressed with ADHD, because I know when we're depressed we kind of lose sight of everything, and people who don't have ADHD who act like we've just been cursed with this huge burden, I'm so sorry for you, or like, you really just need to get your act together, or like, you're just a hot disaster. But they don't know, because they don't live in our brains, so they don't get to enjoy all the benefits that come from being wired differently, as well as some of the shortcomings that we might need some help with or some accommodations for. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do apologize for all the distractions that popped up mid-video. It literally is my ADHD life. So my life is ADHD, and I do my best to try and control some of those distractions. I'm sure my hot mess of a background is also very distracting for some people, but that is actually my life. So unfortunately, that's part of me being honest. So thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in another My ADHD Life video. And I would love it if those of you with ADHD, either self-diagnosed, like you just know you're ADHD, or act like legitimately diagnosed by a doctor, I would love it if you shared some of your positive traits that came from being ADHD or accommodating your ADHD in the comments below. Inspire people, encourage people. Let us present a face of like success and empowerment so that other people who are seeing this feel empowered and courageous enough to go out and try those things. Let's encourage and support each other, because this world is hard enough. We should be kind to each other, right? So, bye guys!